here wrestling at the yard with the police and the selector, man. Him tear off the selector clothes, handcuff the selector, and the selector go way up the road. Anyway, I'm run coming back, bird speed. Him and a man toss up, and him and the man arrest the ground, and the man overthrow him. And him take out him gun and gun, go off and gaze him in the face. When him get the gaze in the face, him run come out so breathless. And my cousin Sample right so attack on him phone to him uncle. Ever talk to him, uncle him come out and say to him, say, why you keep it from my cousin turn to him and say, me not kick you. So by the time my cousin said that, I one shot him my cousin in the chest, and my cousin said, I saw me at the dead. Or my cousin said him give him the neck shot in the chest.
A cousin of Kevin Cunningham who was fatally shot in Anata Bay. The woman says that the family will be challenging any report from the police that the incident was a shootout. In the meantime, the St. Mary police have confirmed that one of their officers was involved in a fatal shooting in Itiboreal yesterday. The police report says an illegal firearm was seized from the deceased. It says about 9:20 p.m., officers from the St. Mary Operational Support Team came under attack while shutting down an unauthorized party. It says during the incident, a patron identified as Kevin Cunningham, otherwise known as Chemical. According to the police report, an officer in response then shot and wounded the suspect. He was transported to hospital where he died. The police say 2 officers were injured during the incident. A Beretta .40 caliber pistol with a partially erased serial number and a magazine containing 5 live rounds were allegedly recovered from the suspect.
Jaja. Accident.
That driver, stop.
But you come like when you see it, you go over there.
So it's money, Mr. Like?
Then the most dead man.
Are you not driving son?
Driving sharp jump out.
Are you not driving truck?
Driving sharp jump out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, look, okay, I'll sit there. Get to heavy. But maybe there's no blood or nothing.
One day for them boy carry this around there, so.
Eh?
Nobody like
I don't see no blood, there's no blood on this.
Man say carry. So I say no know if you carry that child.
Okay. Intraland.
Welcome to Jamaica Dancehall Source, news and entertainment with a buzz. The video that you saw, the pictures that you see, is of a very sad situation that allegedly took place in Trelawny, where a truck, like you see, look like a trailer, heavy truck, one of those commercial vehicles, tip over. Him claims some sorts of crankshaft, some sorts of mechanical problem caused him to flip. And unfortunately, a vehicle, a car, saw what was happening and tried to take away himself, but it seems as if he even got himself more into the line of fire. Based on the information that I am getting, these are the individuals that was actually in that vehicle. And based on how that truck pancaked the car, we can come to the logical conclusion that nobody in that vehicle was going to make it out. If they did, you would have to call them grace. It would have been simply amazing. Now, there's a thing that is called accidents. Accidents are usually unpreventable. That means it just happened out of the blues. It could have not been avoided. As if there was some sort of mechanical problem. The tire fly off, the axle broke. But the thing is that you should be able to check those vehicles. Do a proper maintenance, proper mechanical check. Get some sorts of fitness. But you and I know, you can go to the vehicle place where them check your vehicle and you can pay a little man a couple of $1,000 and your car can be in the worst order. Ball tire, no brakes, none at all, and still get a pass to drive the vehicle. So a lot of these companies, they might think about profit, but they're not thinking about any sort of expense with maintaining these vehicles. The biggest problem is the mindset of the people. Always speeding, always in a mad rush. Like them say, you blaze like lightning, you clash like thunder. And I think in this case, Somebody must have been speeding. Somebody must have been distracted, not paying attention, probably on them phone. Probably is the operative word. And then panic, bad mechanics, bad mindsets, and it is a recipe for disaster. Such is the case, in this case, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news based on the video that has been circulating all over social media with a group of Haitian clashing. Verbal altercation turned physical altercation. Man get Mike Tyson, knockout, drop, lick him head, lost his life. Now when that video circulated, I did some digging, some people from that era, the Mansion Hill era, Windsor Forest, like me say, call me and say, you know, say blogger, a whole bunch of things are go on. Some of them Haitian where you see, yes, them run from Haiti because of the place slow, financial reason, persecution. However, a lot of them, it is because of prosecution, meaning say, them hot, they are gangster. Barbecue type of people, and you know exactly who he is when it comes to Haiti. It is said that they are up there with the guns for drugs trades because of the geographical location of Jamaica. Pretty much Portland coming like a sieve. Anybody can come in, anybody can come out. So therefore, the setting is ideal for the hustle, the smuggle, the guns, and the drugs. Well, people, I did a video before and I played an audio of a man explaining that speaks the language very well what those Haitians were saying when there was a verbal altercation that led to the man being knocked out totally out of life. I want you to take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
Hey, I just looked at those videos that you sent in the group, man. I feel sorry for that guy who those Haitian guys capture. I speak Creole very well, and apparently he took money from one of those guys, or he was supposed to go to Jamaica and trade guns for cash or guns for drugs. And the guy say, you cost me lose out on my money, I can cut you up in pieces today. Today is your last day breathing on earth. So that guy is definitely going to be added to the murder count in Jamaica and Haiti. He isn't going to be living very long.
So people, you heard what the man had to say. He speaks Creole, he speaks French. Creole is a mix of African and French. That is what the Haitians speak. What he said was validated and verified by somebody else that speaks Haitian. Point I'm trying to make is that the police, relevant authority, the citizens in a Windsor Forest, Mansion Hill era, be very aware because we see Jamaica pretty much a turn to Haiti, Haiti 2.0. We don't want to add problems to the problems that we already have. We don't want to bring in some more hot-head people, even though they might be suffering. Some of them, most of them, might be hardworking. However, like I've always said, one bad apple spoils the whole damn bunch. Saying that to say that some of these youths that are there, especially the man that did the knockout, his name is Knock Knock. Here's the story as it pertains to Knock Knock and people. None of this information is in TVJ, CVM, Star, Gleaner. This is all exclusive information from people that are on the ground. So therefore, if you say DJ Khaled and them, I run with it and tell you say them ear say, you know which part them hear it from. This youth named Knock Knock was one of the Haitians that came in last year sometime. A whole bunch of them did it. And them pretty much hide in a Portland, well hide in a Plainview. But because they are involved in the guns for drugs, as a matter of fact, the one specific one that knocked out the next youth named Knock Knock, he had all sorts of pictures circulate with him over there in a 80 with all sorts of tall rifle, like same name, Barbecue. Maybe he was linked with Barbecue. Slight possibility. So the people have to tell him, say, his business associates, meaning the Jamaican. Now, people, one thing that we know about Jamaican, they are willing to turn a blind eye if any sorts of hustler there. In a lot of areas, them bring in the chopper them turn up the place until the problem reach their doorstep, until the chopper turn around and start take with them and them family. That is when them are call upon the police. So I say this to say that relevant authority, including JCF, be aware of what is going on. Back to Knock Knock. Knock Knock is a gangster. Knock Knock is up there doing all sorts of hot stuff, meaning guns for drugs. However, there are some of them, I say Knock Knock too hype. Knock Knock love a party, Knock Knock love a drink, and when Knock Knock start drink, him start get boisterous. The reason why them call him Knock Knock is because him thinks him a gallus, he is always looking pums, and him call it Knock Knock. So therefore, that is the reason why the Jamaicans give him that name. Based on the information, it is said that some money was missing, and them are drawed upon people, and that is where the fight was over. Missing money from proceeds of crime, drugs for guns trade. It is said that that man that was knocked out by Knock Knock, he did not lose his life that immediate day. Yes, not to say that he wouldn't have died eventually, but it is said that because of how the place had and because them there in a hiding, they did not take him to the hospital. Maybe if they did, he would have been alive. Maybe is the operative word. They took him to a person that is known to be the village Obia man. And them start to fling all sorts of water. If you notice, there's a video circulating all over social media where them a dash water upon him, and he did not revive. However, he was not fully out. So they took him to that location, tried to revive him, use all sorts of unorthodox thing, a bun lighter and foot, I guess, that is supposed to stimulate the nerves. I am no Obia man, so don't quote me. Based on other information that I am getting, it is said that people in the area, they are facilitating the FUCKRY. Them are bringing the Haitian women, them are marry them so them can get paper. As a matter of fact, it is said that one specific individual brought in a Haitian lady. And when he brought in that Haitian lady, he married to her. And the man overseas that is a part of the guns for drugs trade. Him here where I go on, come at Jamaica, all sorts of eruption. So people like me say, this is my caution to the JCF and people up there in Windsor Castle. Please be very mindful that you don't want this to break out like sore. And for all indications, it seems as if that is the direction that it is headed. So therefore, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Don't be money wise and losing your life and turning your place, broken it out like one of those volatile communities, because we see all signals, all indication is that it is about to get bad. So therefore, kind of put some sorts of water upon the fire before it flares up and ignites. Flame, fire and flame, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, a little bit of history for you knuckleheads. This one is called So the Papa, So the Son. And who am I speaking about? I am speaking about the Don from Spanish Town, THICKMAN. His name is Loban. That was taken out controversially, but justifiably so, a couple of weeks ago. And I am also speaking about his father. His father's name is Dennis Lepo Loban. Mr. THICKMAN used to control Spanish Town, extortion, murders for hire. You name it, they were doing it from A to Z. But like I said, the theme of this video is just like the father, same way so the son. On or about September 11, 1987, a very popular artist known as Peter Tosh was taken away at his home in a Barbican. That was a multiple shooting. The target was Mr. Peter Tosh. However, Marlene Brown, the girlfriend of Peter Tosh, was also touched up. Winston Doc Brown was also touched up. Jeff Free-Eye Dixon, Known DJ was also touch up. His wife was also touch up. Carlton Santa Davis, he was touch up. And like I said, the target was Peter Tosh. Based on the information, it is said that the person that was contracted to take out these hits was Dennis Lepo Loban, meaning THICKMAN's father. Some people make it, some people did not make it. A couple of days after Mr. Loban had turned himself to the police, after they had put him or placed him on the person of interest wanted man list, just like the father, just like the son, he was convicted. Based on the information, it is said that he had just been paroled out of prison for taking away his own family, his brother to be specific. A lot of persons were saying that Mr. Loban was paid because Peter Tosh music was too radical. It felt as if he was touching or stepping on the toes of a lot of people in our politics. A lot of people that was fighting against racism in Jamaica all over the world. So therefore, he was too vocal, so they were about to silence him. Here's the thing about Mr. Loban. It is said that when Mr. Loban was released on parole, Peter Tosh, I guess because artists and gangster always a link, was always giving him his package, making sure that he got his provision, making sure that he was always okay. There's a saying in Jamaica that says, sorry for maga dog and them turn around and bite you. Such is the case as it pertains to Mr. Loban, THICKMAN's father. Moral of the story, like I said, saw the papa, saw the son, corrupted, wicked, evilous, extortionist, love people thing, feel as if they are entitled, and even if you look out for them a million times, they will still come back and take you out. Such is the case as it pertains to Peter Tosh, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called a lot of persons are going to get in their feminine sensitive feelings when they hear this part of the video. This part is called Shabdon is coming home from prison to do music with Vybz Kartel again. Public enemy numero uno and numero dos. And this is based on a recent trial of Mr. Shabdon himself, Mr. Linval, and his co-defendant, next crime producer. Based on information from the DPP, it is said that the trial was scheduled for last Wednesday. However, up until Monday, 2 days prior to that, they did not submit an application to get some sorts of Zoom meeting, Zoom conference. Now, people, if this is not delayed tactics, I don't know exactly what is. Because 2 days before the trial, the DPP's office is making an announcement. And people, do you want to know why? It is called delayed tactics because the DPP's office cannot be that incompetent or negligent to want to put in an application on Monday for Wednesday. Obviously, that is not going to go through. Now, when it comes to these application, international partners such as Jamaica, such as United States, because they have a sole purpose, bigger picture to get rid of criminality, whether it is local or foreign. Say this to say that it is just formality for the Jamaican government through the DPP justice system to apply. And then, more than likely, it is going to be accepted. The proper protocols have to be followed and there won't be any sorts of denial. It is dependent on the key witness himself. I told you before in a previous video that the key witness is J-Man. Yes, the same squash J-Man that went on a double takeaway. He was locked up for it. Persons were also calling up squash name. J-Man claimed that he was the witness because he had inside information because of the fact that his girlfriend, Two Fly, was one of the 3 persons that lost their life. 2 other persons got taken out in a Rose Heights in a St. James. They claim that the next suspect are the co-defendant of Shabdon, and also Shabdon is the hitman. They were both the hitmen. Now, people, I am not going to say that Shabdon is not a criminal and Shabdon don't put out hits, meaning that he is the mastermind, but more than likely he will never go on any of those hits because he is the big man. So when we hear J-Man saying that Shabdon was actually there and identified Shabdon, we know that he was lying. And people, I am not saying again, this is my disclaimer, that Shabdon had nothing to do with those 5 persons getting caught up and 3 persons, including Two-Fly, the girlfriend of J-Man, getting caught up and taken out. But me just as say. So here's the thing now when it comes to the trial and why the DPP and the system is having delayed tactics. Because they are desperate. And why they are desperate is the fact that J-Man does not see any source of benefit for him testifying at the court in Jamaica, especially if he knows that what he said was not true 100%. Because he knows that he is going to be under fire in a cross-examination by the defense lawyers. And he knows that these lawyers are going to dig up all sorts of phone record to see the location where Shabdon was at. They are going to dig up all sorts of alibi. They are going to ask the questions such as, well, if these persons were in schemas, as the facts or the evidence claim in the case are that day, that fateful day in which those 5 persons were taken out, how could you identify that person? J-Man is not going to be willing to go under that fire because J-Man would see it as, what kind of benefit is it going to do for me when I am facing double takeaway and possibly DEATH at sentencing? People, me just say it makes absolutely no sorts of sense. So when we hear the DPP talking, she is lying out her ASS, and that is because she is desperate, dazed, and confused. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.